Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Sandeep Sharma, your pediatric super specialty faculty at PrepLadder. And we have Dr. Ratna with us today. Dr. Ratna is rank one. Yes, you heard it right. Rank one INISS in medical genetics. And it is my privilege to connect with Dr. Ratna again. Why am I saying again? Because I have known her for quite some time. 2019, I had taught her when she was going to appear in her pediatrics UG exam. And right now, I'm really happy to know that she has cracked INI super specialty with rank one in her branch of choice. So it is my privilege to invite her to this interview. Welcome,
So
Dr. Ratna, and congratulations.
thank you. Thank you so much, sir. It's a privilege to be talking to you.
Yes. Already, see, I've seen those memes where a person is sitting and suddenly he becomes very old. Talking to you, I'm getting that that feeling that suddenly my hair are becoming old because I've taught you in a face-to-face offline class in
Yes.
MBBS, and right now you are now giving the exam. Technically, now you're going to be more qualified than me.
No, sir. Never more than the teacher.
Yeah. So, Ratna, let us first talk about your background, where what place you belong to, and where you did your UG, PG from, and what you are doing right now.
So I actually belong to Calcutta. I've done my UG from KMC Manipal. That's where I did my MBBS from. For my PG, I moved to Mumbai, where I did it from St. GS Medical College in KEM Hospital. And I just finished my MD last year. Currently, I'm working as a bonded senior resident in Topiwala Nayar Medical College.
Okay. And how did you become interested in medical genetics?
So to be very honest, I was interested in it right from Manipal. Dr. Girisha was the head of genetics in Manipal. And when I was an intern on the obstetric side, we would always refer patients for prenatal counseling, especially the ones with chromosomal abnormalities. But actually, my true interest in genetics came up when I was in KM Hospital, Mumbai. We have Dr. Mamta Moranjan with us, very fortunately, and she has her genetic clinic where we get posted as residents. So that's where I truly realized the burden of genetic diseases in the country. Like what we think is rare is not actually rare, it's just underdiagnosed. So that is something which I really realized. And I realized that there's a lot of unmet needs of the families that have children with genetic disorders. So that's where my interest began in the subject.
Nice. So, see, if someone is going to prepare for neonatology, they know that Cloherty and Ames protocol are to be read. But if someone has to prepare for medical genetics, there is a relative, I would say relative because now people are becoming more aware. But students who are interested in this branch, what are the resources you would recommend to them if they want to prepare after their MD for this exam, for cracking this exam?
So I think the best advice that I can offer is that read your standard textbook during MD. So the good thing that I did during my MD exam was that I read Nelson cover to cover. And genetics and inborn errors of metabolism is given actually pretty well in Nelson. It's just that it's probably not read enough. And then I went through your video where you had this approach to inborn errors of metabolism. I made notes from it. So that those notes are something that I could always easily go back to because you'd given these lovely flow charts and had made things very easy and simplified. Apart from that, sir, there's also a website by Indian Academy of Medical Genetics where they put up a lot of videos on the molecular tests.
Yes.
That is something that we do not really know much. We do not really read about much. So that is another website that I would really recommend as a good resource.
I remember last year also I had taken an interview of a topper in medical genetics, and he had also said almost a similar thing that genetic tests, which we don't normally read, and
Yes.
all these relative new drugs, which we don't normally read, they are actually the rank deciders in exam. So,
Yes.
as and Ratna is also saying the same. So, Dr.
Yes.
Ratna, how did you find the exam when you sat in the exam? Like, what was the weightage like? What were the areas from where more questions came? This would help guide people who are now preparing and who are going to be your juniors.
Yes. So I felt that the paper was 70% genetics and 30% it was general pediatrics. So general pediatrics, some things that you absolutely need to be 100% sure about. Those questions were the types that came like development, and all of that. And whereas where genetics is concerned, there was a fair proportion of inborn errors of metabolism as well as dysmorphology. I felt like dysmorphology in this paper was definitely given weightage. They would give a very typical faces. They would ask like, what is the heart disease associated with this? And what I also felt was that they also asked about the genetics of oncology. Like they asked me about CAR T cell. So a lot of pediatrics was involved in it, not just your genetic conditions.
Correct. So, what were your primary resources? The one, two, three, four. Like, what were the things that you referred and you feel that you had to go through them multiple times and they actually helped? Nelson, you have already said.
Apart from Nelson, sir, your videos, those are very quick and easy to like always look at. Even if I was busy, I would just I could just listen to it and do the rest of my work. And apart from that, sir, the other best resource would be the website on IAMG. I unfortunately I could not go through all the videos. I wish I had, but there's not enough time. But if we've given a chance, I would probably go back and do it again.
You can. Now you're going to be a medical genetics for life. I don't think you're going to sit in another exam, entrance exam after this.
Yes,
So you
sir.
have all the time, and I don't think what was needed you have already done.
Yes,
Ratna, you
sir.
can't get a rank 0.5. It's rank
Yes,
1.
sir.
Now it's done.
Yes,
So
sir.
whatever you did, obviously it was of a very high standard. And
Yes.
what about like if someone is going to prepare, what are the small little things one can do during their MD, which will make life easier for them if they want to crack during the first go? Like reading Nelson is one thing. Anything apart from that?
I think so. It's very important to immediately read up about the cases that you're seeing in the ward. That is something I would always do.
True.
And I would be very interested in the genetics part of it. Like whenever we would send a whole exome report, I would always go and read up about it. Like what does it signify? Is it a frame shift mutation? Is it this? Is it that? What are the other variants associated with it? So I think my interest in genetics has been very consistent since the beginning. So I've always read up about the cases in the ward, especially the ones that were a little genetically inclined. The genetics of common diseases, that is something that you should always be aware of, like Wilms tumor. Everything has a little bit of genetic basis to it, so it's very important to be aware of that. And another thing that I would really recommend for INI is paying maybe a little attention to biostatistics. It is not something which I had done, it is not something that I was good at, and it constitutes a large proportion of INISS, no matter what branch you're giving.
Any source you can recommend, like any book or something, or it's the general biostats one needs to be familiar with?
It is the general biostatistics. They do not ask anything out of the blue, but it's just that maybe I was so unfamiliar with the concept of biostatistics that I did falter here and there. But I think any general biostatistics textbook will give you what they ask. Just need to be aware of it and just need to read it. Like people forget that they constitute a very important part of INISS.
True, true, true. And about the department assessment and any other things you would like to give any suggestions to students?
So, sir, the department assessment, I guess a lot of people have already spoken about it. The first part is by your own department, depending on what branch you've chosen. So, they take a very OSCE structured department assessment where they'll give you like image based questions, ask you a few things related to it. And they basically want to test your approach on how you're approaching the case rather than just you giving that one word answer. And they also expect you to be quite up to date with all the latest advances and technologies. So that is there, and I think I fared pretty well over there. The general pediatrics is the second half. It's taken by a panel of say 4 to 5 like doctors,
Serious.
and that goes very fast. Like you don't have enough time to think, and I really feel like I could have probably answered better over there.
But obviously
There are questions
you
that
did
sort
better
of
than,
take you aback.
yes, you did better than others, better than
I
anyone else in your branch. Yes.
yes,
So,
sir.
so great. Basically, you have to have the right approach,
Yes,
not only because during the exam or assessment, but also during your preparation days. So it becomes easy. It gets translated into success. So
yes, sir.
Ratna, like what next after this? Obviously, you'll be joining and all. So there will be a gap of few weeks before you join.
Yes, sir.
You'll not get holidays. I hope you know that.
Yes, sir.
So what next you are going to do before you join and the drill begins again?
So sir, I think I have about a month remaining. My plan is just to wrap up from Mumbai, and I've spent a considerable amount of time here. So I will take an equal amount of time to wrap things up and move to another city and start a new life there. So my plan is just to spend as much time as I can with friends and family, so that, once I start residency all over again, it does not get very tough and I have no regrets.
Yes.
Yes,
Uh, this success of yours, yeah, it
yes,
can't get bigger than rank one. Must not have been easy, and there might have been people who have contributed to it. So, any
yes.
shout outs, any dedications you want to give to people, family,
So
friends?
many. Actually, most of the people, they believed in me when I did not believe in myself. So starting from my family, they've been extremely supportive throughout. From the time I decided I wanted to join MBBS, my parents have been extremely supportive of every decision that I've ever taken. Particularly this exam, Dr. Lakshita and Dr. Akshay, they are the ones that pushed me to write this exam. I was not very confident about giving it. I was not sure I would qualify. So they told me that I'm being very silly and that I should give this exam. Then Dr. Prerna Modani, she's my senior. She's currently working in the Department of Genetics at AIMS Delhi. So she was the one to guide me on what to study, how to prepare for the interview. She's definitely someone I would like to, give a lot of gratitude and thanks to. And then my other friends like Saurabh, Soumya, Sushmita, and Trusha, they've been very, very helpful and supportive throughout.
Great, great, great. So, you wanted, you started your journey from MBBS, and now you're going to be one of the elite members of the super specialist community. There are not many people who are DM Medical Genetics
Yes.
from Central Institute. So, congratulations on that. And
Thank
on behalf of the entire PrepLadder super specialty team, I wish you all the very best for your future. And we
thank
do hope that you will bring a lot of, relief to a lot of students, because genetics is one branch, even I feel personally it is not paid much attention in many medical colleges, and we can do a lot better in the field. And
Yes.
I do hope to see your name among the icons of genetics in a few years from now, when I
Thank you,
start to
sir.
feel even more older than I'm feeling right now.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank
Thank,
you, sir.
thank you, Ratna. Thank you for your time, and all the very best. And congratulations to you, your family, your friends, everyone who is a
Thank you,
part
sir. Thank you.
of the journey.
Thank you.
Thank you.